Hola chicos, en este video vamos a hablar del vocabulario de capítulo 6. So we're going to continue to talk about the vocab from chapter 6. This is vocabulary 2 as it says up here. So you should have already watched my video on vocab 1, okay? Again, I'm in eStudio in my textbook, chapter 6, and in my vocab section, okay? So what this vocab 2 mostly addresses is how we feel as far as being sick or healthy. We're going to use a lot of estar because these are temporary things. You feel sick this week and then you feel good the next day or whatever. And we'll also notice we have a lot of tener expressions as well. So I'm actually sick right now as I record this, so I can definitely relate to this vocabulary. And I can tell you firsthand that being sick while you're in another country is very distressing for a couple different reasons. And so it's really good to have this vocabulary down well because you will get sick when you travel. That's inevitable because you have different antibodies and you're eating different foods and the way things are done are just different from what our bodies are used to. So many travelers get sick. If you have to visit the doctor, you don't want to be struggling with the vocab while you're trying to get treatment or help. So this is definitely, I've used this vocab a lot in my travels, let me tell you, okay? So we have this person here who's clearly not sick. Él está bien, he's healthy. But she is not, she is enferma, está enferma. So you can see we're using está because these are temporary conditions. He could be healthy today, but maybe tomorrow he doesn't feel so well, okay? So when you're actually at the doctor's office, you can read this in otras partes. You don't need me to read it out loud for you. So you might want to pause the video for that or log into eStudio yourself. We have la boca, which is your mouth. El paciente, which is an awesome cognate. We saw it before when we talked about people who are patient. Now we're talking about people who are a patient. And just like in English, it's the same. In Spanish, it's also the same. Paciente, paciente, patient, patient. So that's handy. We have el médico, which is the doctor. You can also hear them referred to as el doctor, okay? In our sentences down here, we see that he's in the consulta, and so you read about that in this part. So that's the consult or where you're actually being examined by the doctor in their practice, okay? We got some questions. Un examen físico, really nice cognate, a physical exam. So they're just kind of giving them what we would refer to as a checkup, okay? Here we have el enfermero. So it can be la enfermera if it were a female or el enfermero if it's a male. Okay. Tensión arterial can also be referred to as presión arterial. Now, when we get into medical words or technical words, you'll notice there's lots of cognates, but only if you know the word in English. So if you think about that, this is a cognate because this is about your arteries or your blood vessels. So he's taking his blood pressure, right? It's just a different way to say it in Spanish. So también toma el pulso, takes his pulse. So now we're going to talk about things that can make you feel not so good, okay? And this is where we're going to come into a lot of tener expressions. So you can tener fiebre. He's got a thermometer, so he has a fever. Tiene catarro. Catarro is like being sick. So if you have catarro, you are sick, okay? Tiene estrés y tiene dolor de cabeza. Dolor is the word for pain. So if you have any sort of ache, a headache, a stomach ache, I don't know, an earache, you're just going to say, I have pain of, and then the body part, okay? So here's his cabeza, tiene dolor de cabeza. So she has a stomach ache. So she tiene dolor de estómago. And he is coughing, so tiene tos, okay? So if you are someone, if you're like, oh, I have a really bad cough, you would say tengo tos. Those are some tener expressions. Sometimes you can refer to them in other ways, like you can use the verb estar to say you are sick with resfriada. You can say just straight up that he coughs a lot, tose mucho. Here, dolor is the word for pain. The verb for pain is doler, D-O-L-E-R, and that's a stem changer. So if your stomach hurts you, so you want to say, oh, my stomach hurts, you say, me duele el estómago, my stomach is hurting me. This works like a gustar verb, like a backwards verb. So, a ella le duele el estómago. Here we have another patient. Tiene dolor. She has pain of throat. So she has a throat ache or a sore throat, like we would say in English. Le duele la garganta. Her throat hurts. We have la médica. So you have el médico o la médica o el doctor y la doctora. Doesn't matter. She gives da, and le we know means to her. So she gives a, I just forgot the word in English. Prescription. Thank you. Sorry. I apologize. Looks like I need to go take some medicine myself. So she gives her a medical prescription, and it's for her cough. Okay? So Teresa and her mother go to the farmacia. You're going to want to say farmacia. Don't do it. Farmacia. Put the emphasis on that one. And in the pharmacy, they venden medicamentos o medicinas. These two are synonyms. They can be used interchangeably. It's kind of a regional thing, depending on where you're at, is what they'll use to refer to them. So that's the main vocab 2. So the thing to take out of there is you're going to have a lot of generic expressions, okay? And also you're going to be introducing with this new format of le duele, which is how you describe if something hurts, okay? That's about it. See you next time. Ciao.